What it do?
Okay, so this is going to be a mini MAPsterclass. There are questions that we get all the time, and there's one statement we get all the time, which is, I didn't know, right? And we've mentioned this before. People are always like, after they listen to our music or realize actually what it is, because a lot of times they'll be like, oh, cool, people we know put out another album or another whatever. But then they actually listen to it and actually go through it and see what's going on and then be like, man, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's huge. Lately, one question has been coming up over and over and over. Why aren't you guys famous? Like, why aren't you guys so much bigger than you are? And we wanted to take the time to thoroughly answer that one question. That's why it's a mini MAPsterclass, because it's only one question. And we both started kind of like writing down our answers, and it became so huge we kind of wanted to go through this live. And
yeah, I think it's perfect.
Yeah, why aren't we famous?
I mean, I should we start?
Yeah, go.
Okay, so basically I started by saying you have a status quo, right? And that status quo seems to be very common. Like, so they mingle with each other very well. Our status quo, I believe, is for us to be as original as possible. So even if there's like something that's out there that we notice, it's like, yeah, we definitely gonna try to be something else, to add on, to add
Or
to
ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we're not trying to be different for the sake of different. We're just very true to our own art, whatever that is. We follow that.
And there's an actual search for, like, not just settling for the status quo of who we are, you know what I'm saying, and what our skill is. Like, we're gonna go above and beyond our skill to try to, like, not impress, but like, I mean, if anything, impress each other, but like be better than what it is that we were when you first saw us.
Yeah, and like the thing is alive. It's
Nice.
always like growing, developing. Sometimes it needs it's winter season where it just kind of like marinates and the ideas kind of, I don't know, they need their time. And you need sometimes, quiet and space for these ideas to come out, because if you're constantly just looking on your phone or on some kind of screen at other people what they're doing, you're going to be influenced by it. There's no way around it. And that's why whatever kind of group or bubble you're in, you're very affected by that. So our bubble is full of people who are dope.
Yeah. and very original, like, and the originality in this day and age seems to take a bit longer to get used to, you know what I'm saying? Depending on the setting. Like, so for instance, if you got apple, and then like banana, and you're in a live setting, that might like really interest somebody. Like, oh my God, like, that was great.
But it might throw other people off. It's like, we don't, what is this?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I was writing down. Why aren't we famous? Well, we're talking about status quo, or we're just talking about where music and art and everything is right now. Like, one thing that's happening with, a lot of the TikTokers and the reels and things, there's very much a thing of someone does something and then everybody repeats the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Sort of in their own way, So no one really knows where it started. No one really gets proper credit for it. And then it's just this very small box. And everybody's like, within this box, within these rules, I am going to show how I'm going to do this. So sometimes it's the same audio in the background, and then everybody is like what can I do with this audio? But it's all very like repetitive. So you'll see something that's very interesting, and you're the first time you see it, you're like, whoa, that's dope, and you'll share it, send it to people, and then you see it like 20 more times by 20 more people, and it's not original anymore, it's not interesting anymore, and then you look at all those people as if they copied that first person just because that's what you happen to see first. That doesn't mean they were the originators.
Right.
You could be seeing the person that's copied off of 18 other people, but because you saw it first, then you think that's the person that was the most original, and they kind of get credit in your head. And a lot of that is, obviously that happens with people in music and artists. Whoever you see first, you think like, wow, they're so original. Never mind that style maybe was around for God knows how long, or who invented it, but now it's extra. It's extra. Like, you don't know who's getting the credit, and that's only going to obviously get worse with AI and whatever, but we're not going to get into that. However, it's just like, there's so much. Nobody really wants to go outside of that except for to create another start of another small box. We're like, now use this audio, or now use this, AI voice that reads, the lines for you, while you show the picture of, your puppy doing this particular thing about how, they don't pay bills around the house. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and just everybody repeats. Oh, I have a dog, I'll repeat it. And it's just, but those are people that are not necessarily even artists. So that this is not art for the average person. And then everyone now thinks I am an artist. Right. And this is before I let you, because I know. No. I know I'm talking about. But,
no, you're bringing up some really dope things.
But here's the thing. When you think about skill and art and actual skill and craft you develop, right? When you think about, jazz, opera, Renaissance painting, things where like, you knew who was good. Like, you either had that skill on display or you didn't. Then we get into experimental art, which I myself love, but it's because it's a way to push your art, right? But then you start pushing it to the point where it's like, okay, now it looks like a kid's Scrabble kind of Scrabble drawing, right? And then that's art. But what happens then is then everybody's like, oh, I could do that. And so that anybody can do that. And then whoever has obviously the best agent, the money to put on their own gallery shows, who necessarily doesn't need the approval of any established artists or curators or whatever. Those people are just become more popular. Same thing with music, right? Because we were just this morning talking about how many of these young bad boy rappers have to put on such a persona, such an act, draw all over themselves or whatever, do all this like ratchet shit just to draw attention to themselves because they don't know how to rap. Like the actual thing that is the art, they don't have that. So they have to create all these illusions like, look at me, right? And it's like, so we are in a place, we are trying to cut through everyone thinking that they can do it because, I mean, obviously what a lot of these people are doing, most people can do it. If you think rap is just talking, good, percent of us can talk, right? And so then everyone thinks like, oh, I could do that. I would like to do that. That's awesome. And then that way we lose the true dedicated fans. We lose the supporters because now everyone's supporting themselves. And we don't realize how much can actually go into this if you study this craft. Like it's not just talking, believe it or not. But then we haven't been exploring that.
The illest shit basically like that you presented was the more that the art changes into something that is other than the art, also its audience will change. So then you have certain original folks that are in the game still trying to compete, if you will, like in that lane, not noticing that the game has totally changed from art to like something else, you know what I'm saying? And its fans are totally different. So now you're like, yo, I'm killing it, or I think I'm killing it, you know what I'm saying? And you're presenting art. Meanwhile, they're like, yo, where your props at? Yo, where your money at? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's all of these other extremities that, you know, you're supposed to bring to the game, or they're thinking that you're supposed to bring to the game, and you're like, yo, but I got this ill art. What do you think? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that lane I was gonna express earlier, like that lane that you created back in the day, like, you know, let's say that lane was greatness or whatever, or great rappers. Well, now great rappers has been defined by somebody totally different that is not a great rapper. It's or a great singer or something like this. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, you know, oh man, this person can hit a note and they did this last week that, you know, that caught a bunch of attention. So now we're paying attention to this person, you know, and the person that this could be innocent as well. Like, you know, the person that's looking at that, the kid that's looking at that may think, oh, that's what we need to do in order to get on.
Yeah.
So they create that type of news.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, cool. And even on social media, like that's the thing, like social media tends to, because at first it was like radio, you know, and with radio, all you're really paying attention to is the voice.
Then music video,
right.
Music video, you're paying attention now. Now dance becomes more important.
Right.
Theatrics become more important.
Right.
What you're wearing becomes more important.
Exactly.
And now it's kind of like there's a blurred line between like fitness influencer and singer, for example, right? Like you can't really tell the difference, or like even makeup artist and performer.
Yeah.
You know, like people will get really great at this skill that calls attention. Oh, they can also sing. Now they're the singers. Yeah. And it's like, shouldn't there be a difference between a singer and a fitness instructor?
Yeah.
Like, isn't the singing the part?
Right.
Isn't that
right,
the thing?
Right.
You know, and it's like, obviously I do several things. So this is not by any way being against, you know, being multifaceted or whatever.
Of course.
But all of those things take so much care and education and practice and learning of where these things came from, what make them what they are, why are they different from other things that are, you know, it's like there's so much, but it's like, and that again makes people think like, oh, I can do that, because they're doing something super simple, but they're presenting it in a way that looks so artistic. Like, look, they're wearing this super, you know, crazy thing. You know, their headpiece is like this, and it's like, oh, what an artist.
Right. But did they kill that beat though?
Where's that,
you know what I'm saying?
But the skill, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And even skill, that's fine too, because, you know, a lot of the singers right now, they definitely have skill. I'm not saying they don't have skill, but it's, again, they're like, this is what singing is. And they're all competing on this one aspect of skill.
Right.
Loud voice, you know, high notes,
difficult
runs. That's it.
Right.
And if you consider that, Billie Holiday would have been a shitty singer.
Right.
You know, because they don't see the full aspect of what a singer is and what their job is to make you feel something. Yeah. You know, you took away all of the things that were connecting human to human, heart to heart, soul to soul. You took the things that were impressive and then pushed that all the way to the max. And so many singers, you know, get vocal node operations every other year, because you're just pushing that without looking at the full spectrum of what is a singer. And if you are primarily, again, a fitness influencer or whatever, who now also kind of sings, and you got your audience of millions of people as a fitness influencer, and now they're like, oh, this person is also a great singer. You might not have spent, you know, 10, 20 years learning about the singing and then you start pushing yourself and you start doing
Right.
shows and then your voice gives out and then you have to get throat surgery and
Wow.
it's like it's a
Yeah.
craft.
Yeah.
All of these things are crafts.
And it's gotten so good. You know what I'm saying? Like even like how it is that we will divert away from the art. Like it's gotten so good as far as like the entertainment is concerned and the platforms in which like are harboring, you know what I'm saying, this stuff. Like that it just builds and builds and builds. And so
Yeah.
music becomes like an abstract concept, really.
Yeah.
You know, and so when going back to like, well, why aren't you famous? Is like, well, we can try to be as much of a circus act as we can. You know what I'm saying? But really, like when that question now becomes something broader,
Yeah.
because what fame is in the means of music now, it's not just music. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? It could be for example, I forget who it is and what they're called now, but there was the girl that was like, take it outside or something like this. What was that?
Catch Me Outside.
Catch Me Outside, right?
Then
right.
She became a rapper.
Then she became a rapper, and it was just like, but here's the thing, like from that one statement, you know what I'm saying? It was like, oh my God, I want to see what it is that she's gonna do. Like the audacity of her, you know what I'm saying, coming in here trying to be a rapper, but everybody wanted to see it. And everybody was like, okay, well, if she's got this much sass, maybe she'll continue that sass. But then it became like almost like the sass competition. You know what I'm saying? Like who could be more of the bad bitch? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, not necessarily a good rapper. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you just real quickly break down to people who might not know, what is this difference between somebody just talking with attitude, talking with bravado, and a skilled MC? Because skilled MC, okay, master of ceremony, somebody who can go in there and just kind of like hold the, you know, because there's the performance aspect of it, of holding the attention, holding the crowd,
right.
entertaining, you know. So you have to have you have to have that confidence. So a lot of people have the confidence or whatever. The actual skill of an MC, what are the things that people aren't took out of it completely?
Right. So okay, my aspect of a skilled MC is an MC, he or she who knows different methods, you know what I'm saying? Different styles. They practice those different styles. So for instance, if you got somebody that is, I gotta get over the hill, the touchable, knowledgeable, come the few, discredible, edible, sensible, like that type of stuff with the fast rap, you know what I'm saying? There might be somebody that does that, but only does it in a monotone way. There might be somebody else that can do it. The real MC for me, like the skilled MC, is gonna know different ways to do that with volume, cadence, you know what I'm saying? Different rhythms of how to play certain words and still be on point, still be on time with the rhythm, right? Now, when you got the poor person's version of that, like they can hint at the fact where it's like, oh, okay, they're going fast.
Right.
But are they styling that? They may not know enough about all of these different facets of rap, you know what I'm saying? Or of flowing with rhythm, you know, that they can do that. Now, the fast MC also should know the slow rap shit. Like you should be able to, you know what I'm saying, groove in that beat. You know what I'm saying? Finesse that shit. You know what I mean? Like, so that rapper is gonna know like how to also control the mood. You know what I'm saying? At a point in time, like basically make it seem as if the beat has slowed down or sped up. You know, depending on how it is that they want the song to go. The MC, the skilled MC is also going to be able to write a dope song, period. Like they're not just going to battle rap on everything. They're not just going to like try to show off on everything, they're gonna hear the beat and they're gonna marry that beat. They're gonna match that beat.
Every song is not gonna be the same song.
Right. And you're gonna be able to switch up with your voices and things like that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna test every part of who it is that you are in order to make sure that the song speaks for itself, you know? And I think that what we took out is we took out the skill of an MC or the skills of an MC by way of paying attention to maybe one skill or maybe one aspect that we really, really like. Like, I like the persona, right? So, and how I know this is when people imitate rap and you'd be like, hey, imitate rap. And they'll immediately be like, yo. And it's like, you got one aspect. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because not every MC is like, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so we have, those are, that's a beginning. We also have like the timbre of the voice.
Right.
Or the sound that you use for different songs.
Boom. Yeah.
So.
Exactly. So, okay, knowing the timbre and sound of something, like a lot of times I'll do something, and this is talking on behalf of the skilled MC.
Right.
A lot of times I'll do something where like I have to do this piece like at least 70 times, you know what I'm saying? Just to get the right tone. And like, let's say that the beat or bass line is something that's not necessarily in my register or not something that I'm very used to hearing. Or the sound is, right? Or there's a competing sound where you're trying to cut through, you know? And the sound might be, right? And I'm like, but I'm also not trying to be monotone because I want them to understand, you know what I'm saying, more of the trip that we're gonna take, you know what I'm saying, through this. So I gotta choose my inflections well, you know what I'm saying? I have to be able to create the voice that is not just the narration, you know what I'm saying, of this thing, but is also like the creator, like an instrument, another instrument.
Right. So just like when, as a producer, you're picking which instrument can go here so that it fills a space sonically that isn't there yet. As an MC, you look for, in this, every song, in every particular song, you choose a voice that cuts through. And so then the engineer doesn't have to carve out big chunks of the beat just that they can hear the MC.
Yeah.
This is like, people don't understand this because then like if everything is in the same range, if you sound like the bass line and you sound like the background, you're not cutting through.
Right.
And then the engineer will then have to
scoop out the bass or
basically make sure you're heard. But if you already are listening to the beat and you're rapping along with the beat and you're like, how can I make my voice find its sonic place so that I'm already now cutting through? So if you hear, you know, him on different songs, right, on the album, sometimes he's higher, sometimes he's lower, but it's not monotone, there's inflections or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so and we're still on Skilled MC. I mean, we're not gonna cover all of it, but we haven't even said lyrics.
Right.
So now there's lyrics. We were talking about fast lyrics rap that's not had bad cat.
Right.
Right.
So the lyrics is gonna be a thing as well. Like lyrics that you choose particularly for the beat. Sometimes if it's more spacious, you know what I'm saying, you want to get a little more intricate, you know? And if you are gonna get intricate, like you have to choose what it is that you're doing in order to either carry your audience to the next phase of what you're talking about, or, you know what I'm saying, relate with them right at where they are, you know what I'm saying? So if you're talking about, because that's the other thing, topics, you know what I'm saying? The topics the lyrics that go with the topic, you know what I'm saying? So if your topic is deep, you know what I'm saying, and you're using very like, recognizable words, you know what I'm saying, them words are gonna have to have some sort of, you know what I'm saying, like sass or like expression to them that allows for people to hear it and just be like, like you own those words, like that is you. That's the other thing too, when we're talking about owning those words is conviction, the conviction of the words, you know what I'm saying? So the lyrics, the expression of those lyrics, you know what I'm saying, and the conviction, you know what I'm saying, like your attitude or whatever, like do people believe you? You You know what I mean? Like if I'm like, you know, not to harp on anybody's lyric, but lyrical, spiritual, miracle, like those types of things, right? If I'm to do that and I don't have the conviction, like it basically sounds like I'm just trying. Like that's another thing that's I believe has been kind of taken out.
Yeah.
It's like people are like, oh, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But just because you can do it doesn't mean that it's dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there is the act or task of doing something, and then there's the person that basically becomes that.
Right.
You know what I'm
so
saying?
Then there's like, I'm doing tongue twisters.
Right.
Am I an artist, or am I now just like a person who's
Right.
really good at saying fast things?
Right.
That's
Right.
not necessarily an MC. That could just
Right.
be a regular ass person practicing how to do tongue twisters.
Exactly. And you can have tongue twisters down.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
But
this
that's
is no
in
diss
your-
to
in your-
tongue twister, just so y'all know.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
But yeah.
But that's a skill you have in your bag, and for this song, this makes sense, and you use it.
Right.
But it's
Right.
not.
Yeah. In choosing your arsenal, you know what I'm saying? Like having that much to choose from. Like that's to me what makes a skilled MC. Like
And
yeah.
sorry,
Nah, you good.
I'm very passionate about all these craft type subjects. So then also there's the MC that records songs and thinks about all these things, and then you go perform these songs live. And now the sonics are different. And then maybe your voice has to sound a little different to cut through there. And making those adjustments as you go.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
That's
these
a
are-
part of a professional artist. When
Right.
you're on stage now,
Yeah.
which we often talk about, for us is a sacred space. It transforms when we're there, even though, you know, sometimes it's a real stage. Sometimes, you know, it's like you're in some kind of gallery space and you just will stand right there in the corner.
Yeah.
That automatically becomes stage, sacred space. You don't
Yeah.
go there if you haven't memorized your lyrics, if you don't know your shit, if
Yeah.
you haven't, you know, it's sacrilegious for you to go up there and like do some bullshit.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. No, for real. For
you
real.
know, like this is our
And
entire
as-
lives.
And right. And as we talk about all of these things, like to reflect back again on this original question, why aren't you famous? Is like our practice. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of this stuff that we're bringing up, people don't even think about.
No.
The fans or the fanatics, I want to put it that way. They're not fanatics of what we're talking about.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They're fans of like the exploitation of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And when you get the core fans, those real fans, a lot of times when you weed out the, you know what I'm saying, all of that stuff, like for instance, look on your Facebook or whatever, you know what I'm saying, IG, you don't talk to all those people, those thousands of folks, you know what I'm saying? Like you make mass, you know what I'm saying, messages or whatever, but you don't talk to the, so when weeding out and finding out who the true fans are, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's like, if you got 5,000, it's gonna be like 300 of those people. You know, so like when again going with fame and talking about these certain things under these standards, like I don't even know if there's enough fans to make a person famous. You know what I'm saying when it comes to this.
And going back to the very, very, very first thing, we get so much of the, man, I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
So now,
Yeah.
let's pretend we're not talking about those fans that just kind of hop on the, you know, TikTok trends or whatever, or
Yeah,
like
sure.
just go over like, you know, because we know a lot of people like we hate modern music. We only listen to classic hip hop, right? The real heads. That there's a lot of
Oh my goodness.
getting through to y'all might be even harder
Yeah.
because everybody's top 5 is, you know,
Same
5 people
Nas,
across
Nas,
the board.
Biggie, Jay-Z.
You know what I'm
what
saying? And these are the
Pac.
people that are supposed to be so, you know, into
Yeah.
crate digging and
Yeah.
culture and this.
Yeah.
How come it's y'all only found the same 5 people that
Yeah.
were actually popular on the radio?
And
And,
right,
why
right,
won't you give
right.
our music a try until the 4th, 5th, 6th
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
that Swamp actually is in your inbox?
Right.
And then-
nice.
Why aren't you guys famous? And then you don't tell anybody. You
Right.
don't tell any of your friends. You don't post on your page. But then when
That's the
somebody
other thing,
does
right.
some like dumb shit, right?
Yeah.
Nas does
We talking
something,
about
whatever. You
Yeah.
posted right away. What about us?
What was this?
Why aren't you guys famous?
Montgomery?
You're why we're not famous.
Right, exactly. It's like the thing to talk about most right now is like, fights break out and like that's news, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But did somebody make a song, a real dope song about that or something like this or in opposition of? Nah, we ain't talking about that.
Yeah, that's not very exciting. We're not very exciting. I guess you guys find us boring. Okay.
But yeah, that's
to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to wrap this up? Because I have something to wrap this up.
Oh no, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. You've been killing it. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm a little feisty today.
That's
the hair. So, my general thing of why we're not famous. People are not doing their jobs. Nobody is taking their job seriously, whatever it is. A job as a fan to support whoever you actually truly believe in. You know what I'm saying? And learning about the craft, learning about all those things that we talked about. We didn't even get into the singing. We just talked about the art of the MC, and we kind of skimmed the surface. We didn't talk about the production.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Whatever, right? So fans are not doing their jobs.
You know what I mean?
Artists are not doing their jobs. You know? We're not talking about us because we are putting in work, and that's why we're just like, there's a lot of frustration here because other artists, we can tell they're not pushing their craft. They're just following the trends and trying to be like what they're hearing because like if that got popular, if I just do that, I'll get popular.
Yeah. And
then, do whatever they have to do to get themselves noticed, but like to really work their craft and there's something that we played someone the other day, and we were talking about my album. I'm not trying to promote my album, but he described it as the reason I'm doing the book and the candle and everything is because I'm thinking about it as I'm giving something to my audience. I'm presenting something to people, and a lot of people when they're putting albums or songs or music out there, they're not really thinking about this is an offering to the people that's gonna change their lives. Yeah. They're more like, I did this, I want people to see it. Yeah. I'm showing what I can do, or I'm makes me feel good to release music and say that I'm a rapper, I'm an MC, I'm a singer, I'm a producer. You're not really thinking about changing. I mean, there's plenty. I mean, obviously, everybody's. I'm doing it for the culture, but like, you would have to actually help the culture grow and move forward and get its due respect.
Right.
So you have to respect your craft.
Exactly.
Okay, but that's that. Okay, so obviously, fans and artists, DJs. How often are we trying to get this to DJs? We've been trying to get it to DJs in Chicago. When we got like Chicago anthems, and so many times we hear, well, my audience doesn't really like this. Your entire job, okay, not entire job, big part of your job as a selector is to select some shit that people haven't heard before and introduce them. You are the curator. Yeah. You are introducing, you're supposed to be crate digging and finding new and fresh shit that people haven't heard and work it in to introduce something to the people, not just keep replaying the thing that's already there and everybody else. Like, don't you want to be original? Don't you want to be the DJ that people are like, oh, he introduced me to this new group, this new band, this new song. Like, that used to be a thing. Okay, so there's DJ. That goes podcast people, reviewers, all of that thing.
Interviewers.
Why are you not presenting why are you not even listening to new stuff? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And some of that is obviously going back to like, artists are not doing their job and people are jaded where we already got like so much crap. We assume everything that's coming in is crap. And that's why I'm saying simultaneously, everybody's not doing their jobs, which is making the other people jaded and not want to give it a chance.
Right.
And then that goes same to, engineers, that goes to promoters who,
I mean, when you think about it,
nobody's doing their jobs.
you got thousands of people that are making, you know what I'm saying, new music. Like, you know, like how is an engineer going to treat every single one of these the same exact way? Like, you know, each person should be having a different sound. Like, and if that's the case, like then it's time to switch up the engineer or get more of them. You know what I'm saying? But this is one of the reasons why you got a lot more people trying to do everything by themselves. You know what I mean? And that dumbs down, like, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the quality and things like that. And it's like, yeah, kudos to those people like that stepped up and did their thing. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, on a grand scale, like, if it's going to also kind of dumb down, like, the quality and what it is that people expect or what we should be kind of, like, expecting of ourselves, which is just, again, like, an advancement, you know?
Yeah. So, like, I guess final thought from me would be, just like this mediocrity or this copycatism multiplies,
Fighting.
so does greatness. And we can see that when we're introducing a lot of new things and people, artists, established artists tell us they're inspired all of a sudden because they just haven't been inspired by the same old.
Right.
So, like, if you have something original, if you're like an OG that's just completely jaded, like, try to find something to kind of spark that, because young artists need mentors, and the mentors are not there because the mentors are either so jaded that they gave up, they haven't kept up with their craft, so now they don't even have the skill. Like, you know, it'll take some time to get back there, but you have so much knowledge if you've done it for decades. And others, you know, who could be mentors are just chasing whatever the kids are doing and, you know, trying to follow that whole, like, look at me, which is fine. We want y'all to look at us and watch this video. How many people already, you know, turned off because this is not a 1 minute,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I don't know.
No. Hey, originality. You know what I'm saying? What else we looking at?
Passion, care about this.
Yeah.
If you see something good, share that instead of some whatever everybody else shared. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Make some good shit go viral.
And at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Protect that. Protect what it is that you have. But just like anything else, you know what I'm saying? When you go to showcase something, like, come with something fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Even though we be telling folks not to keep scratching fresh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, whatever. Look, sometimes we're like, why aren't you doing this? Why isn't this happening? But we're not jaded. We're going to turn off this video and we're going to go and work. You know and we love what we're doing and we believe in what we're doing. We're like, are we worried?
Nah.
Are we worried that we're not famous?
Nah, not at all.
No.
You know what I mean?
Have you seen our merch? Have you seen, do you know how many albums we got in the works? Do you know the things we can't tell you that you'd have to sign NDAs for? We're good.
Yeah.
We're just trying to wake this up in other artists so we can bring this all up together. Like I said, greatness multiplies. People get inspired by other people. So just like, go do some dope shit.
Fuck yeah. I think this ended right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Go do some dope shit.
Yeah. And tell some people about us. Call a radio station, something. I know I say it a lot.
Mugs and pockets.
It helps. It helps a lot.
For life.
Love you, bye.